Temperatures right now in the single digits over the majority of the region. Hiawatha dipping just a bit below 0, but 3 currently at Marysville, 9 at Manhattan, and 7 in Topeka. On our way down to the low single digits during the evening hours, and then leveling off, if not slowly rising, as some snow showers clip over the eastern counties tonight. How much will warm up in the days ahead? Still to come.
Now on KSNT News.
Frustrations with the state unemployment system. We've heard it time and time again, but now it's reaching a boiling point.
I'm sorry. Who's responsible for this?
Obviously an emotional situation, how a local group is pushing back, trying to get the attention and money from the Department of Labor. Plus,
I don't think that was fair. If it was going to be that long, I wish they would have said it was going to be that long.
Rolling power blackouts running long for some families. We're getting answers after many were left waiting in the dark today. And that's where we start tonight, making sure that you know what to expect as this record-setting cold weather combines with power outages across the area. Thanks for joining us here tonight. I'm Brooke Ludington.
And I'm Molly Pat. Tonight we've got our entire Storm Track weather team on top of tracking what's to come and power problems causing more blackouts across Kansas today. And here are the top 3 things that we're learning about the developing situation. Evergy says that there are more outages possible starting at 8 o'clock tonight, so something to be prepared for. And they say they are working with many large companies in the region to reduce their own power so that the burden doesn't just fall on families like yours. And while the power outages weren't supposed to last longer than an hour or less, some people were in the dark for much longer.
And KSNT News reporter Lindley Lund joins us live now to show us what the problems looked like for some people in our area. Lindley?
Molly, Brooke, lawmakers here at the Capitol are discussing the situation, trying to figure out what needs to change to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Some people went without power for more than 3 hours today, and the company says this is because they were trying to lessen the demand for energy as much as possible. As people dig out of the polar weather into northeast Kansas, more and more people are turning up those thermostats and using more energy, forcing electric companies across the Midwest to shut off power to certain customers to reduce the load.
The power went off at about 7:20 and came back on around 10:10, so about 3 hours.
Tanya Fletchel lives just north of Topeka and was told by Evergy the outage would last a maximum of 90 minutes. However, it lasted double that, leaving her concerned for the safety of her 2-year-old granddaughter that lives with her.
I feel a little betrayed. Like, they said 30 to 60 minutes, and then that one report said maybe 90 minutes, but we obviously experienced more than that. And I don't think that was fair. If it was going to be that long, I wish they would have said it was going to be that long up front.
And Fletchel isn't the only one who experienced these long outages. Some of our employees and several viewers told us about the same problem.
It's almost impossible to tell customers where and when an outage like this is going to occur. The reason for that is because we get very, very little notice on when we have to reduce load and have these temporary emergency power outages.
Now, Kansans are hoping there's not a third day of these unprecedented blackouts.
We know that this is very cold weather. We know that this is extremely frustrating. And believe us, we would not be calling for these temporary power outages if they were not required by the Southwest Power Pool and if they weren't necessary to prevent a larger, longer, more prolonged outage.
And tonight on KSNT News at 10, we'll hear reaction from lawmakers here at the Capitol who are working directly with energy regulators about this situation. Live in downtown Topeka, covering local news that matters, Lindley Lund, KSNT News.
All right, thank you, Lindley. And of course, we'll continue to bring you the latest in these rolling blackouts to help you stay prepared.
Yeah, again, today the state is asking all of us to do our part to help conserve energy. You can do that at your home by setting your thermostat to 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, sealing any leaks around your doors and windows, and then unplugging any electronics that you aren't using. You can see a full list of how to reduce your energy use on our website. Just go to ksnt.com.
And the good news is the end is in sight for this Arctic blast. So KSNT Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller joins us now. After how cold it was this morning, Matt, what's it looking like tonight?
Well, very different conditions tonight. We won't have the clear weather that we had last night, and so that's going to help. The cloud cover will help hold a little bit of the warmth in, but the coldest of the year is moving past us, and that is certainly a good thing. That record-setting cold air that caused all that high energy demand last night into this morning will not be repeated as as badly tonight, but it is still going to be very cold. You see the cloud cover also creeping up from the south. That's our next storm system. It doesn't look like the entire area will be in line to pick up snow, but snow falling over portions of Texas and Oklahoma tries to lift northward by midnight, starts to clip through our southeastern counties, and it's really just the southeastern areas during the late part of the night, early tomorrow morning that has a chance for some light to moderate snow. North and west you'll stay dry but cloudy, and that'll have an impact on temperatures as well. The coldest air is likely to be reached here in the next couple of hours. Current temperatures in the single digits to around 10. A light easterly wind, 5 to 10 miles per hour, will weaken a little bit. And with that chance for some snow moving in overnight, wind chills won't be terribly low, but we are looking at definitely a cold night, falling down to about 3 degrees with a very light easterly wind and snow over the eastern counties into the morning. After that, we're back up to a high near 20 degrees. And now that we're out of the most dangerous portion of that, we're able to now safely send out storm track meteorologist Ryan Matoush, giving us an example of just how cold it's been over the last couple of days.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Yes, it is still very, very cold out here. In fact, we're freezing our pants off. Take a look at this. I was reluctant to use that pun, but I could not resist. We've been battling this cold Arctic air for quite some time now, and although it's going to be hanging around just a little bit longer, there's still a few fun experiments you can try at home. Take a look at this one. That's right, frozen pants. You heard that correctly. You can freeze a pair of your very own jeans. It is so cold outside. All you need to do is run them through the washer real quick, take them outside soaking wet, and hang them up nearby. After about an hour, they will be frozen solid, and you can shape them however you would like. Just be sure not to let them thaw out too quickly. And as always, when dealing with these dangerously cold temperatures, please use caution, stay warm, go inside in between. But for now, that's all I have. Reporting live in Shawnee County, Ryan Matoush, KSNT News.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Always best to do that experiment with pants that you're not wearing. That's always the best one. We'll have more look at how long this Arctic air will be with us coming up.
Pants are definitely not on fire there. But hey, from our Capitol Bureau tonight, frustrations are reaching a boiling point among unemployed Kansans in the state. And now one woman is planning a series of protests at the state capitol. Kansans March is a series of protests set to take place at the State House on Friday. Cassandra Dickerson, you see here, a mother of 3, is the organizer for the event. And after going months without pay and hearing from others struggling to make ends meet, she's deciding to take action. She says that she and many others have concerns that are going unanswered.
I'm sorry. Who's responsible for this? Why does the state of Kansas just get to do this to us? And there's no discipline. There's nothing.
And a state spokesman says the department has been transparent about the delay in payments, and the state points to an outdated computer system as the main problem.
Also from our KSNT Capitol Bureau tonight, which you're seeing a live look outside of right now at the State House, where today officials talked about a different kind of toll charge that could soon provide an extra lane for Kansans to drive in. The Department of Transportation is pushing for the possibility for what's called managed lanes. They would let people pay more to drive in a reserved lane. This change would first show in an expansion project for the part of Highway 69 in Overland Park, and other lanes on the road would remain how they are and not be charged a fee.
The possibility is that they could build a new lane on the outside that would be during high traffic times. If you wanted to go a little faster and get to your destination earlier, you can pull onto that lane, but then you're paying a toll.
Money collected would be used to pay for the construction of the toll road, and KDOT officials also want to set aside money from the toll to help pay for public transportation on the road as well.
Well, local firefighters have some cold weather solutions of their own. Up next, we've got an inside look for you on how our first responders are staying warm while still protecting the community.
And a 2-year-old girl from right here in Kansas is overcoming the odds. We'll let you know how she's using her fight against a heart condition to help other Kansans just like you be a little bit more mindful of your own heart health.
And later in sports, KU and K-State are gearing up for tomorrow's Sunflower Showdown. Still ahead, why Mitch Lightfoot says he will actually miss not having as many K-State fans at the game.
You're watching KSNT News at 6 with Brooke Lennington, Molly Pat, Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller, and Pete Francis with sports. You're watching KSNT News at 6, winner of the regional Edward R. Murrow Award for continuing coverage.
The Topeka Fire Department says that it has a plan in place to keep firefighters safe during this cold weather.
Yeah, so during extremely low temperatures, the department says that chiefs will send more firefighters out than is actually needed. So this will allow firefighters to cycle through the fire quickly and then be able to get warmed up.
Your hands are getting wet, your feet are getting cold, your gear is getting frozen. So you take the chance of like frostbite on your fingertips. So they're really wanting to get that stuff off and get you into that rehab bus.
Department leaders say they set up a rehab bus at each fire, but what does that mean? Well, the bus has heaters, warm drinks, and drinks with electrolytes to keep the firefighters hydrated.
And new tonight, a Kansas girl is getting a big honor. She's the featured guest for February's American Heart Association Kansas Heart Ball. It's a virtual event this year because of the pandemic, meant to celebrate work done by the American Heart Association. The special guest is 2-year-old Grace Venman, who you see here on your screen now, and she is a survivor. When she was just a few months old, an X-ray discovered that she had a heart defect that only affects 1 in 300,000 people. After open heart surgery, Grace is now an active little girl living in Wichita. Although she does still have to be careful with a weakened immune system. With her condition, though, she knows more about hearts than most kids her age.
And so that's Mama's heart, yep. Grace's heart.
So cute there. Now the family is committed to living a heart-healthy life, and they participate in heart walks to raise money for the American Heart Association, which is why they were so excited when Grace was invited to be a featured guest for February's event. If you want to read more about Grace's journey or find heart-healthy recipes from the American Heart Association, you can find both on our website. Just head to KSNT.com. It's on our homepage right now.
Early on this morning, records were broken as the coldest morning since December 1989. Look at some of these temperatures. 26 below zero this morning at Marysville, 21 below at Junction City, 16 below at Topeka. Definitely a chill in the air early on today, but temperatures were able to rebound nicely when the sun finally made a return. How many more days of warming we can expect out ahead of us coming up?
Now, your Storm Track weather with Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller.
Very cold weather in place still. Not as cold as it was. We still have a chance for some snow tonight over the eastern and southeastern areas. Once that moves on through, it's going to be slow to clear out of the cloud cover. We will clear, but it's going to take a little bit of a time, maybe in a day, day and a half before we're cleared out of the clouds. We do have milder weather moving in for the weekend and then even warmer conditions by next week. Still mostly clear at Manhattan. Snow on the ground, but notice the roads are seeing a lot better conditions now after sunny weather really helped that out today. Cloud cover starting to creep in from the south and southwest. You can see that at Emporia. Still clear over Topeka with a temperature right now at 7 degrees. The wind chill 3 below zero with an east wind at 6 miles per hour. Made it to 10 today after starting out at 16 degrees below zero. That is certainly a record. Breaks the old record from way back in 1903 on this date. 9 below zero. Just a few years ago, remember when it was 76? Maybe not, but this time of year can still get warm. We'd have a decent warm up ahead of us. We've got to get rid of this Arctic air first, and it is slowly moderating right now. Temperatures above zero most locations, 1 below at Hiawatha, everywhere else in the single digits. Wind chill's a little colder, generally still not even as bad as they've been over the last several days. We're looking at most areas single digits below zero. And the wind's fairly light. The wind will stay light, the sky clear through the evening hours. The wind stays light all the way into the morning tomorrow as well out of the east, and then more of a light and variable wind tomorrow. So the wind at least is not going to be working against us too much. Cloud cover will move in. And it turns out for the overnight period, that's going to be a good thing because the temperatures will drop while the sky is clear this evening. We'll hit a mid-evening or late evening low temperature. And then as the clouds arrive and roll in, as the system moves north out of Texas and Oklahoma, that'll give us an opportunity to see temperatures level off. Southeastern areas could even get clipped by the snow that's moving in, but I think the bulk of that's going to fall outside our viewing area. Heading overnight 11:30 and midnight starts to move in. Could hit areas pretty much along and southeast of the Turnpike, with the heaviest along or southeast of I-35. And that lingers into the early morning hours, but then the clouds take a little bit longer to clear out. Partial clearing, though, by tomorrow afternoon. And then things will start to wind down a little bit more. This is a different model projection, again, kind of showing that same trend as we had then into Thursday, still with that scattered cloud cover around. But generally speaking, the dusting to an inch, and I think most areas along the Turnpike about just a dusting, maybe 1 to 2 inches of additional snow in the far southeastern corner of the area. That gets on out of here, and we're on to the warming trend. 3 for your low tonight. Tomorrow we're up to 20, so we'll add another 10 degrees on top of what we hit today, and then we'll warm up a little bit more into Thursday. Should be back up to about 23 degrees, then 33 on Friday, 41 on Saturday. Maybe some rain or snow showers Sunday before we warm up even more early next week, with highs back in the low to mid 50s, and overnight lows will even come up close to 30 degrees early next week. You see the bunny there just kind of dealing with the cold, kind of bundled up there. From Darlene Bogren in Scranton. From Osage City, Nancy Johnson sitting in that tree full of birds. And that winter air this morning, you know, hot water just turns into a cloud as you throw it up into the air. From Deb Scott in Manhattan. And how's this for a beautiful shot? That is a bubble, just normal soap bubble. But in that cold air this morning, David Bezidpour in Topeka got a nice shot of it, freezing solid. It kind of gets a little bit gooey and solid, but it still makes for a beautiful photo.
And it's like just one of those globes.
Yeah, and well, it's just crazy to see like the snowflake form on the bubble. Just unreal.
Yeah, what are those called? The shake globes, the
snow globes?
Snow globes, that's what it looks like. Very cool. Well, KU and K-State are set to meet for the second time in the past 2 weeks for another in-state sunflower showdown.
That's right. So up next in sports, we'll tell you what both teams are saying about the limited crowd that will be allowed to attend tomorrow's game. Of course, this video, not from this year.
Now, the Sports Minute with Sports Director Pete Francis.
KU and K-State will meet for the second time this season tomorrow night in Manhattan. The rivals played just 2 weeks ago, with the Jayhawks getting the 74-51 win in Lawrence. This will be the 295th edition of the Sunflower Showdown, which is the 6th most played rivalry in all of college basketball. Things will be a little different in Manhattan this time around, with just 15% capacity at Bramlage Coliseum.
I thought about it actually this morning, that they could have that experience, because it's, it's one of the, special games in college basketball, a special rivalry. Obviously, the fans, both sides, get pretty excited about it.
And while the Jayhawks usually don't get a warm welcome in Manhattan, Mitch Lightfoot will miss the energy.
It's fun, honestly. It's been part of playing basketball in Kansas. I mean, you're gonna have people at your rival schools that make cool signs, and you might not be in your favor, but you got to give them tip your hat when they have some good signs.
Tip-off tomorrow is at 7 o'clock on ESPN+. That's your look at sports. Matt's back after the break with a final look at the forecast.
Tonight, temperatures won't be nearly as cold, only falling back to a low near 3, back up to 20 tomorrow. Could see some snow over the southeastern counties tonight, but clouds will be slow to clear tomorrow.
Thanks for watching KSNT News at 6.
Have a good night.